Good day, everybody. This is Yin Yang in California with Morsels of a Thought, number 1475 on friendship and responsibility and compassion as it is spoken and compiled by William J. Bennett in the Book of Virtues. The reason I chose it is that I am giving you morsels of a thought every day, trying to inspire you to have a great day. Knowing the right thing to do is wisdom, and actually doing it is virtue. So we'll change the world. I hope to impart these messages carefully and possibly educate the world and inspire, entertain, educate, and impart. We got that. We got that all. Okay, so I'm on here. Responsibility from the Crito by Plato. Plato on responsibility. Okay. My books, my stuff, my ego. I don't know if my camera is doing right. I can't tell. My camera is a little quirky today. Anyway, Plato on responsibility from the Crito. In this famous dialogue by Plato, Crito visits his friend Socrates, who has been legally but unjustly imprisoned and condemned to death for impiety, quote unquote, and quote, corrupting the youth, end quote. The hour when Socrates must drink the poison hemlock is fast approaching, and Crito tries to persuade his friend to escape. Socrates, however, refuses to break the law of Athens. The argument is one of our finest lessons in the principles that must inform both civil obedience and civil disobedience. His decision to die remains one of history's great examples of an individual who believes his first responsibility to his community, his family, and himself is to follow the dictates of reason directed conscience. Reason directed conscience. Socrates says, consider the matter in this way. Imagine that I am about to play truant. Truant, you may call the proceeding by any name which you like. And laws and the government come and interrogate me. Tell us, Socrates, they say, what are you about? Are you not going by an act of yours to overturn us, the laws, and the whole state as far as in your lies? Do you, as far as the whole state, as far as in your lies? Do you imagine that a state can subsist and not be overthrown, in which the decisions of law have no power but are set aside and trampled upon by individuals? What will be our answer, Crito, to these and the like words? Anyone, and especially a rhetorician, will have a good deal to say on behalf of the law, which requires a sentence to be carried out. He will argue that this law should not be set aside, and shall we reply, yes, but the state law has injured us and given an unjust sentence? Suppose I say that. Crito. Very good, Socrates. Socrates. And was that our agreement with you? The law would answer, or were you to abide by the sentence of the state? And if I were to express my astonishment at their words, the law would probably add, answer, Socrates. Instead of opening your eyes, you are in the habit of asking and answering questions. Tell us, what complaint have you to make against us which justifies you in attempting to destroy us and the state? In the first place, did we not bring you into existence? Your father married your mother by our aid and begat you. Say whether you have any objection to urge against those of us who regulate marriage. Note, none. I should reply, or against those of us who, after birth, regulate the nurture and education of children in which you were also trained? Were not the laws which have the charge of education right in commanding your father to train you in music and gymnastic? Right. I should reply, well, then, since you were brought into the world and nurtured and educated by us, can you deny in the first place that you are our child and slave, as your fathers were before you? And if this is true, you are not on equal terms with us, nor can you think that you have a right to do us what we are doing to you. Would you have any right to strike or revile or do any other evil to your father or your master if you had one, because you have been struck or reviled by him, or received some other evil at his hands? You would not say this, and because we think right to destroy you, do you think that you have any right to destroy us in return, and your country as far as in you lies? Will you, O professor of true virtue, pretend that you are justified in this? Has a philosopher like you failed to discover that our country is more to be valued and higher and holier far than mother or father or any ancestor, and more to be regarded in the eyes of the gods and men of understanding, also to be soothed and gently and reverently entreated when angry, even more than a father, and either to be persuaded, or if not persuaded, to be obeyed? And when we are punished by her, whether with imprisonment or stripes, the punishment is to be endured in silence, and if she leads us to wounds or death in battle, thither we follow as is right. Neither may anyone yield or retreat or leave his rank, but whether in battle or in a court of law or in any other place, he must do what his city and his country order him, or he must change their view of what is just. And if he may do no violence to his mother or father or mother, much less may he do violence to his country. What answer shall we make to this, Crito? Do the laws speak truly, or do they not? Crito, I think that they do. Socrates, then the laws will say, consider, Socrates, if we are speaking truly, that in your present attempt you are going to do us an injury. For having brought you into the world and nurtured and educated you and given you and every other citizen a share in every good we had good which we had to give, we further proclaim to any Athenian by the liberty which we allow him, that if he does not like us when he has become of age and has seen the ways of the city and made our acquaintance, he may go where he pleases and take his goods with him. None of us laws will forbid him or interfere with him. Anyone who does not like us and the city, and who wants to emigrate to a colony or to any other city, may go where he likes, retaining his property. But he who has experience in the manner in which we order justice and administer the state, and still remains, has entered into an implied contract that he will do as we command him. And he who disobeys us is, as we maintain, thrice wrong. First, because in disobeying us, he is disobeying his parents. Secondly, because we are the authors of his education. Thirdly, because he has made an agreement with us that he will duly obey our commands, and he neither obeys them nor convinces us that our commands are unjust, and we do not rudely impose them, but give him the alternative of obeying or convincing us. That is what we offer, and he does neither. These are the sort of accusations to which, as we were saying, you, Socrates, excuse me, but give him the alternative of obeying or convincing us. That is what we offer, and he does neither. These are the sort of accusations to which, as we were saying, you, Socrates, will be exposed if you accomplish your intentions, you above all other Athenians. Suppose now, I ask, why I rather than anybody else? They will justly retort upon me that I, above all other men, have acknowledged the agreement. There is clear proof, they will say, Socrates, that we and the city were not displeasing to you. Of all Athenians, you have been the most constant resident in the city, which, as you never leave, you may be supposed to love. For you never went out of the city, either to see the games, except once when you went to Isthmus or to any other place, unless you were on military service, nor did you travel as other men do, nor had you any curiosity to know other states or their laws. Your affections did not go beyond us and our state. We were your special favorites, and you acquiesced in our agreement of you. And here in this city you begat your children, which is a proof of your satisfaction. Moreover, you might, in the course of the trial, if you had liked, have fixed the penalty at banishment. The state which refuses to let you go now would have let you go then. But you pretended that you preferred death to exile, and that you were not unwilling to die. And now you have forgotten these fine sentiments, and pay no respect to us, the laws of whom you are the destroyer, and um, we are doing what only a miserable slave would do, running away and turning your back upon the compacts and agreements which you made as a citizen. And first of all, answer this very question: are we right in saying that you agreed to be governed according to us in deed and not in word only? Is that true or not? How shall we answer, Crito? Must we not assent? Crito: we cannot help it, Socrates. Socrates: then will they not say, you, Socrates, are breaking the covenants and agreements which you made with us at your leisure, not in any haste or under any compulsion or deception, but after you have had 70 years to think of them, during which time you were at liberty to leave the city if we were not to your mind, or if our covenants appeared to you to be unfair? You had your choice and might have gone either to Lacedaemon or Crete, both which states are often praised by you for their good government, or to some other Hellenic or foreign state, whereas you, above all other Athenians, seemed to be so fond of the state, or in other words, of us, her laws, and who would care about a state which has no laws, that you never stirred out of her. The halt, the blind, the maimed were not stationary in her than you were. And now you run away and forsake your agreements? Not so, Socrates. If you will take our advice, do not make yourself ridiculous by escaping out of the city. For just consider, if you transgress and err in this sort of way, what good will you do either to yourself or to your friends? That your friends will be driven into exile and deprived of citizenship, or will lose their property, is tolerably certain, and you yourself, if you fly to one of the neighboring cities, as for example Thebes or Megara, both of which are well governed, will come to them as an enemy, Socrates, and their government will be against you, and all patriotic citizens will cast an evil eye on you as a subverter of the laws, and you will confirm in the minds of the judges the justice of their own condemnation of you. For he who is a corrupter of the laws is more than likely to be a corrupter of the young and foolish portion of mankind. Will you then flee from well ordered cities and virtuous men, and is existence worth having on these terms? Or will you go to them without shame and talk to them, Socrates? And what will you say to them? What you say here about virtue and justice and institutions and laws being the best things among men, would that be decent of you? Surely not. But if you go away from well governed states to Creto's friends in Thessaly, where there is great disorder and license, they will be charmed to hear the tale of your escape from prison, set off with ludicrous particulars of the manner in which you were wrapped in a goatskin or some other disguise, and metamorphosed as the manner of runaways. But there Be no one to remind you that in your old age you were not ashamed to violate the most sacred laws from a miserable desire of a little more life? Perhaps not, if you keep them in good temper, but if they are out of temper, you will hear many degrading things. You will live, but how? As the flatterer of all men, and the servant of all men, and doing what? Eating and drinking in Thessaly, having gone abroad in order that you may get a dinner. And where will be your fine sentiments about justice and virtue? Say that you wish to live for the sake of your children, you want to bring them up and educate them. Will you take them into Thessaly and to deprive them of Athenian citizenship? Is this the benefit which you will confer upon them? Or are you under the impression that they will be better cared for and educated here if you are still alive, although absent from them? For your friends will take care of for your friends will take care of them. Do you fancy that if you are an inhabitant of Thessaly, they will take care of them, and if you are an inhabitant of the other world, that they will not take care of them? Nay, but if they who call themselves friends are good for anything, they will. To be sure, they will. Listen then, Socrates, to us who have brought you up. Think not of life and children first, and of justice afterward, but of justice first, that you may be justified before the princes of the world below. For neither will you nor any that belong to you be happier or holier or juster in this life, or happier in another, if you do as Crito bids. Now you depart in innocence, a sufferer, not a doer of evil, a victim, but not of the laws, but of men. But if you go forth, returning evil for evil and injury for injury, breaking the covenants and agreements which you have made with us, and wronging those whom you might and wronging those whom you ought least of all to wrong, that is to say, yourself, your friends, your country, and us, we shall be angry with you while you live. And our brethren, the laws in the worlds below, will receive you as an enemy, for they will know that you have done your best to destroy us. Listen then to us and not to Crito. Then Socrates continues. This, dear Crito, is the voice which I seem to hear, murmuring in my ears, like the sound of the flute in the ears of the mystic. That voice, I say, is humming in my ears, and prevents me from hearing any other, and I know that anything more which you say will be vain. Yet speak, if you have anything to say. Crito. I have nothing to say, Socrates. Socrates. Leave me then, Crito, to fulfill the will of God, and to follow whither he leads. That was responsibility. Five pages in 20 minutes. That's 4 minutes a page. So I shall read you another item that is not here. The Children's Hour by Henry Wadsworth Longfellow. I couldn't get to the friendship part, but Henry Wadsworth Longfellow. Every home should have at least one children's hour every evening. That's what William J. Bennett says. Now, Henry Wadsworth Longfellow's poem says, between the dark and the daylight, when the night is beginning to lower, comes a pause in the day's occupations that is known as the children's hour. I hear in the chamber above me the patter of little feet, the sound of a door that is opened, and voices soft and sweet. From my study I see in the lamplight, descending the broad hall stair, grave Alice and laughing Allegra, and Edith with golden hair. A whisper, then a silence. Yet I know by their merry eyes they are plotting and planning together to take me by surprise. A sudden rush from the stairway, a sudden raid from the hall. By three doors left unguarded, they enter my castle wall. They climb up on into my turret, over the arms and back of my chair. If I try to escape, they surround me. They seem to be everywhere. They almost devour me with kisses. Their arms about me entwine till I think of the Bishop of Bingen in his mouse tower on the Rhine. Do you think, O blue-eyed banditti, because you have scaled the wall, such an old mustache as I am is not a match for you all? I have you fast in my fortress, and will not let you depart, but put you down into the dungeon in the round tower of my heart. And there I will keep you forever, yes, forever and a day, till the walls shall crumble to ruin and moulder in dust away. Oh, wow. That was cute. The Children's Hour. Let me see if I have time for this one. No, I do not. So I wanted to go through responsibility. So next time we will go to, I wanted to do friendship and compassion as well. But at this point, I will probably read you The Gift of the Magi by O. Henry on compassion. That one's going to be a long one. The Maggie. And there's going to be something else where we have a battery. A battery is a line of artillery all in one unit. But anyway, I couldn't get to those items today. I hope you enjoyed what was about Socrates, his sense of responsibility. He stayed to take the death penalty. Amazing how I'm speaking and writing right now. I cannot believe it, even my brow. I will see you tomorrow. I love you all. And old Kinderhook. Bye bye for now.